Hey guys, Gavin here. Excited to announce that today, July 5th, is the release of my second EP. Last week was the first EP. The artist name for that was Lost Forest. EP title, many others have done so before. Go check that out if you haven't yet. Watch my video on it from last week, or even watch the video I uploaded yesterday, talking super in-depth theory about all the chords that I was using during that project. Today is the release of this new thing. The artist title is Unknown Secret, and the EP title is Ghost Tree. Before I get into anything, I would just encourage you to go listen to it. This is actually the shortest release of all of the releases that will be coming out in this 6-week campaign. It's only 6 or 7 minutes. Go listen to that and then come back here and we'll talk about it. My buddy Zhenya, who did vocals on the last project as well, said that he was getting excited about the idea of a recording setup for in the car. The reason that I started writing this project was that I wanted something written that he could record vocals to in the car. Even a lot of the vocal takes in the first track were recorded in the car. I was in the driver's passenger seat, holding the laptop and the interface, and he was holding the mic while he was driving. Most of the takes are not from that session, but that's where we started. That was the origin point. So there's certainly a spirit to this project that's about making strange choices and leaning into oddities. Now we're looking at the project file here, and the first thing I want to show you that's interesting about this project compared to some other things I've done is that the tempo is constantly moving. So this is the tempo map here in Logic Pro, and you will see that every 5 seconds or so, the tempo is changing. This is part of the push and pull of the project. The next detail of the project that I consider very iconic after the tempo changes is that it feels very sluggish and chaotic until you hear these stabs, these quick cymbal chokes. For example, lots of fun little stabs. Which I just think is so surprising and in high contrast to the rest of it that has this like jammy, kind of inebriated feeling to it. I want to show you a bit just of what each instrument sounds like. We hear drums, bass, 6-string electric guitar, 7-string, a clean guitar, a somber clean guitar, I might add, and I think the most iconic part of this whole project. It became very clear that that was really the point of this project, was a kind of sea of chaos with this clean guitar lead that somehow is quite sad, seems so gentle and fragile, and I almost want to say pathetic even. The melodies it plays kind of grip and hold on to these tension-inducing sad notes. We have 2 types of vocals. We have vocals with this kind of production sound. And then we have vocals that sound like this. And sometimes what happens on that track too is very odd, like this. I want to show you a few more things, but real quick, let's cut to this clip I recorded just a few minutes ago of me playing through each one of these instruments, so you can kind of hear what they sound like and the types of things they each played. You're going to hear the bass, a 7-string guitar, a 6-string guitar, and a clean lead guitar part, and how they all work together to create the whole. I'm going to start with bass. The sound will not be exactly the way it will be in the end because I have some plugins turned off here for latency. If I make a mistake, which is quite likely, or not so likely due to memory, but whatever, I am going to just go from that spot where I forgot what to play. And we're going to go one at a time. We're going to start with the bass here. We're gonna move on to the Strat style guitar parts. I'm gonna mute the bass channel here. I only want to hear the drums to record. Made a mistake, lovely. We're going to move on now to the 7-string guitar. Seven-string part. Now we are going to play the clean lead part. Here we go. And let's now investigate a bit for how these things sound all together. Listen to the whole thing. Definitely a bit all over the place with the timing, because I think originally I recorded to a click. Didn't want to record to a click now, because I thought that would be kind of annoying to hear for you guys. But pretty neat to show all those pieces are buried in that messy, kind of wild mix. Finally, there's just a few fun, odd details I want to show you that I'm really happy with. There's this kind of double bongo fill. So I've taken samples from like freesound.org of bongos, and it just helps solidify this strange moment. Slamming into that next section, we have a sound like this. You'll notice too, all of the sounds in this project are using convolution impulse responses so that they sound like they're coming from a strange environment. So for example, if we look at the 7-string guitar, a lot of the sound of it is that it's going through this impulse response. Everywhere I'm using this plugin, Isotope Trash, you can see I have it running through this impulse. If I run it through a different one, impulse responses and convolution are often used for reverb, so you can emulate the sound of like a specific space, or we use them all the time as guitar players in amp sims to emulate the cabinet. So you will notice here too, within Trash, a lot of these impulses they do have are cabinet impulse responses. But sometimes I like running them through strange impulses that aren't even supposed to be amps that give it a weird stereo image and a weird quality. And the last thing I can show you here that's pretty interesting is the sound of the mix completely dry. So we go from something like this. By the way, there is the sound of thunder. This is one of my secrets I use on a lot of my music, is thunder, explosion, SFX. And the name of that song in Dutch is Het geluid van de bliksem, which means the sound of lightning. What I did want to show you, however, was in comparison what everything sounds like dry, without the convolution reverbs, without all the effects. Sounds very intelligible and very dry. Makes you want to listen to death metal. That's going to be it for today. Hope you enjoy listening to this short, sweet experiment of a project. I will assure you, however, that if you thought this was a little odd, next week's project is 10 times more strange and unique and further away in direction. I think it's the most unique thing I've ever made. Let me know what you think. Go listen to this. Go listen to the first EP. Look forward to next Friday and the one after that.